Good morning, or evening, whatever it happens to be for you. This is the Lone Wolf, and we're here to goof off with some more EVE Online. Now, today, I've decided I'm going to see if I can do the Sisters of Eve starting lines. I don't know exactly what the minimum requirement is, but you know what? We're going to do it. Now, as of right now, if you log in during the weekend, EVE Online is doing a boosted experience weekend. And for an alpha account, you'll get 25,000 skill points to inject. One character per account. And if you're an omega, you'll get 2 of them, giving you a total of 50,000. Oh, excuse me. So let's see how we're looking in skills. Missiles. Okay, now I can use rigs on Leonardo, which will actually allow me to improve the setup of my various flying craft. Excuse me. You'll have to excuse me. I had a very, very late evening, and I'm feeling a little worn out from it, but it's all right. Alright, so I've applied those skill points, and here we are in what is ultimately a PvP based Algos, if memory serves. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, PvP designed Algos. Now, I honestly don't know much about what to expect from the Sisters of Eve storyline. I've never actually tried it. So, let's see. EVE Online. Ta-da! Okay, updated properly now. Alright. Now again, I'm not exactly sure what I need. I just know that if we go into suggested here, it should show us a Sisters of Eve. Eden, Eve, whatever. But they can give you some nice ships, so let's go ahead and head over there. I have no idea what'll happen. Alright, so here we go. I don't think...
Warp drive active.
You know what? I'm going to leave the chat link up, the chat blocker up, in case someone decides to say something not appropriate. So as of right now, I'm actually on my way to Arnon. And I don't know if I'm going to be heading into any kind of risky space, so... we'll see. Well, thank you very much for the host. And please, anybody who happens to hop in, one of the main reasons I run this channel, it's not to pretend I'm some kind of amazing player. It's squarely to introduce the game. So any questions, comments, concerns, you know, backhanded insults, whatever, just, you know, feel free to mention what you have to say. But as of right now, we're flying out to do the Sisters of Eve storyline. Because I'm curious about it. I've never actually done it. So we'll see if I can handle it in a PvP fit Algos. Ain't exactly holding my breath here. These warp gates look so much better now. All the holographic imaging that was added to them to actually give you some information about what's on the other side of the gate. I mean... what you're going to see here is you got the glowy effect of the actual warp conduit. And we jump up. It's security level 7. It's slightly higher than where we are now. And above and below it, it'll tell you who generally operates it. So that was a nice little addition. Soon I'll be able to use a 5th drone, finally. That would be an Amar jump gate. And looks like we're going into Gallente space. Security level 6.
active.
So yes, what we have here is the space warping simulator. Irks some people. To me, I think it's a pretty interesting concept to actually employ the amount of time it takes to travel from space to space.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, here we are. You'll have to excuse my skepticism. Uh-oh. Sisters of Eve, I've seen your kind hasten the deaths of millions. Received a distress call from a ship called the Damsel. Just another murderous slayer with a god complex. Really? That's a little harsh. With all the power at your disposal, you certainly could be a force for good, and one thing is certain, good is in dire need of allies these days. I mean, like, I guess I could understand where that mindset comes from, but, I mean, it just seems a little aggressive. I mean, sure, there are some capsuleers who go insane and start full-on wars, but that doesn't mean everyone does. I mean, generals do that on a regular basis. Does that mean every general is mean and evil and bad? Whatevs. So here we are on our way to our first mission for the Sisters of Eve storyline. Now, again, I've never done any of these, so I have no idea if this ship is going to survive what I'm sending it to do. Alright, so here we are, warping into Monarch. Another Concord space. I'd say that's pretty high sec. Whoa, that's not correct. I'm not multi-ship mining anymore. Alright, well here I am. And there's the Naglfar wreck. So let's turn on. So to finish current mission. Don't talk to me till that. Okay. Seems Concord was faster to respond, but your backup was definitely appreciated. Handful of survivors picked up. Okay. Interesting information. Seems no one fired on the damsel. Let's see if we can get any information about the ship's path, pilot or cargo. Concord. Right.
Warp drive active.
All right, we're going to accept that one. So now we're going to go find out what happened to the boat. Alright. Well, looks like it's the only station here, so let's see what's there.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Well, there's a crow. Okay. Tevis Jack. Tevis Jack's Epithal. Okay. Maybe they're not actually in here. Ah! I guess it always helps to keep track of the overview. Mind explodedly boom. Ah. Okay. Ah, here we go. Yeah, I picked up the crew that outlived that explosion. Pretty massive, whatever it was. So we can track down the facilities. And scavenging the explosion site. Go take them out for me. Shouldn't be too much trouble for a capsuleer. Probably get it done in time. Alright, alright. This is a little different. Kind of cool. Seriously, this is actually pretty cool. Like, it actually is, you know, here, talk to these people, work with those people, and go from there. Instead of it just being, go to this site and blow everybody up. So now we go back to where we just were, it looks like. So now we go back to where we just were, it looks like. There we go. So, all right, a couple little guys. This shouldn't be a problem. Well, I'm pretty sure I'll be okay. Now, the only downside is these weapons are extremely short-range weapons. And I don't have anything to scavenge with. Tech in your cargo, bring it to me. Okay, well let me pick up the trash first. And pull my nice collection of drones back on board. And now back to Tar. Now, again, this is one of my PvP fit ships, so unfortunately I'm a little limited on ammunition. So, the drones are going to be my saving grace today. But it's an Algos, it's a drone boat, that's what it's meant for. Okay, hello. Good timing. Okay, I found your first guy, but it looks like he's already shipped out again. He's now the crew manifest is red. Listed under the same handle, so there you go. Right, they don't have enough security to deal with the number of pirates where they're headed. Well, we better go save some people then if we can. I don't think I will, but it's nice to think that we might. And here I was a little concerned that this ship wasn't going to have enough oomph to do the job. Get those drones out. Okay. That's why we keep the drones out. And pop the web. If you're slowed, you can't avoid the guns. And there's the dead body sickle. And back to Tevis Jack.
Drive active.
Should have probably got a glass of water before I started this. Complete the mission. Dead. As he figures, I'll keep the investigation open. So what Concord can do. Alright. A message from Sister Alitura. That weird data core. We're able to decipher it. Alright. So we're flying back to the well, for lack of a better term, very, very stuck-up person who seems to think I'm the world's worst evil because this particular body might not have been born of normal circumstances. Can't control that very well, now can I? Looks like I took a couple hits on that last one, but nothing major. And since this particular ship is configured for armor, I'm not really concerned about it. Now, this is the PvP fit I was given. Well, strongly suggested. Not particularly strong in any one location, but relatively overall rounded for defense. The way it was described to me was, when you're doing PvP, your main objective is to outblast your opponent, especially in small ship. So, let's see, I'm in... Oh, shoot! I'm using my Federation charges! I want to change out of those! Oops. Yeah. We'll switch over to antimatter. Don't have as many of them, but I don't want to lose what I do have. Because the antimatter is cheap. The Navy ones aren't, to put it politely. So, Genevieve, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. And I do hope you get to enjoy your stream. All right.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Two minis. Oh, wow. I'm confused. I'm right here. Oh, okay, there it goes. Now I've completed it. 17 followers away from 100. Almost hit 250 hours of streaming. Very nice. I hit 250 hours of streaming a while ago. Let's see. Channel. Here we go. I'm pretty sure there's a way for me to actually take a look at how many hours I've total streamed. Isn't it? Huh. I thought there was. In any case, I know I'm over 250 hours. Only started May 20th. Well, I mean, all of my streams have been, you know, recent. All right. Under achievements. Achievements. Let's see. Day. Oh, apparently I haven't. Only 84 and a half hours so far. Well, I better get to work on that. All right. We have another crew member located. The ship's janitor is stationed on a small outpost. Okay. No matter what happened to Red, bring him back here once you found him for his own safety. Roger that. I stream for 2 to 4 hours. Yeah. You stream for about 2 to 4 hours almost every night. I try to stream as often as I can, but like there's been a lot going on recently, and I'm dealing with some personal issues, and I don't know if I really want to get too deep in it on here because some of it is technically too much for me to say on Twitch. So 6-month anniversary is 11/20. I've had the channel forever, but I've only recently started streaming. I think I've been streaming for like 3 or 4 months now. Alright. Warp to location. But yeah, I don't want to get banned off of Twitch for being a little too free with what could be considered colorful language. Alright. Good luck. Oh, come on. Silly, silly spies. Must defeat the spies. Well, thank you. I should be okay soon enough. Wait, why am I shooting? I know I'm well out of range to hit anything with this. Stop shooting! I'll just take the hits. And knew it, more rats. Oh, excuse me. Well, I had a nice Friendsgiving dinner tonight. Went over to my in-laws. It was entertaining. I need a terminal to give you the coordinates. Okay.
Warp drive active.
I'm sitting here flying around with drones on my drone hold, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, why didn't I just... I'm sorry, not my drone hold, my cargo hold. I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I just put them on my drone hold? I got the room.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Also, while I'm here, I'm going to drop off all the medium ammo, because I can't use it right now. On the off chance this winds up being a situation where I get my butt handed to me, I don't want to lose too much. And item hanger. Alright, let's see if I have anything I can actually adjust. I can do a damage bump. I mean, it just seems silly to be completely configured for PvP when right now I'm doing PvE. There we go. The Eve people likes me a little more. Inputting in this data. Good information. Good. Information from Nevin, but there's a problem. It appears Aubrey Azil, the ship's cook, has shipped out as well. No way they would all get reassignments so soon after an incident like this. They're being shuffled around the system so we don't find them. And then there's the drones. It's long enough to discover who doesn't want the truth recovered. Alright, well, let's go do it. You know, and be the mean, evil capsuleer person. Ooh. Why am I still sitting on... Never mind.
Warp drive active.
And we'll just do this, call this light. Combat light. Alright. And I'm going to move these. There we go. Hmm.
Warp drive active.
Sadly, that seems accurate. Right here it says, looks like those buggers were leaving me to die out here. Well, yeah, that's exactly what they were going to do. You were going to sit out there and you were going to freeze into a meatsicle.
Docking permission requested. Docking
I wonder
request
why.
accepted.
Huh. My stream is labeled as a PvP, but that's not what I'm doing. I changed it, so not much I can do about it now. Alright, completed the mission. The drone involvement is certainly worrying news. Let me see what other leads I have for you. Good idea. The doctor from the wrecked ship. We've located her by way of ransom demand. So we're going to pay it. They just want a planetary currency, so the real ISK value is minimal. The money in your hangar. A lot of money. Alright. Well, let's get to it. So right now we're paying for the release of the good doctor. Let's see if I have the stuff in my... Wait. Hold on. For some reason it looks like I don't have
Requested. Docking request accepted.
the money in my ship, so flying out there would be pointless. There it is. A lot of money now in the Algos. Now we go do the job. Yes, it's always important to make sure the money is where it's supposed to be. One foolish mistake. Ah. Am I streaming in Twitch? Yes, I am. Dead drop. Okay. I guess I'm supposed to put the money in the box. Oh, bounty. Yes, I stream on YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer. Never play Eve. Is it a good game? It really depends on what you're looking for. There is a massive learning curve. It's a lot more to it than just, like what you expect from most piloting games where you're piloting the ship around. I greatly enjoy it because there is a degree of difficulty and what's the term I'm looking for? Complexity that makes it really interesting for someone like me. Not saying everyone's going to love it, but it's... Ah, jeez. It's pretty fun, and it's just a matter of understanding that the game is not like most other games. Gee, who would have thought that pirates would have broken their word? I mean, worst case scenario, my thought on it would be it's a free game to try. If you like it, hey, who knows? You might. I mean, you might. So, spin up an account, run through the introduction stuff, so that way you get a solid idea of what you're doing. Feel free to ask me any questions about what's going on, and I'll do what I can to answer it. Realistically, EVE Online is a sandbox space game. You can spend the entire time just mining rocks if that's what you want to do. The biggest thing to remember, though, is it is always on PvP all the time. So if that's not something you're okay with, just remember to keep yourself paying attention to what's going on around you. That's the best thing I can suggest. But a lot of EVE Online is what you see me doing right now, flying around and blowing stuff up. Alright, so it's some thorium. Did I get the doctor? Yep, got the doctor. Let's see. I think we're going to take the money back because I don't like people who try to blow me up for no good reason. If necessary, have good hardware for run the game. It helps, but my laptop is not exactly what we would call state of the art, and I play that on medium-low settings. So, I mean, you can play the game relatively well and enjoyably on a middle to low range. Only if you're looking at that kind of a setup, you'll be fine. EVE Online will play beautifully on that machine, even without a graphical bump up. Right now, I'm playing on an FX 8320, AMD FX 8320, with 24 gigabytes of RAM, because one of my sticks burned out, and a R9 270. So if you're looking at an Intel i9 with 16 gig of RAM, you're in really good shape for this game. Alright, so we brought back the good doctor. We've gone a long way. We found the key survivor, Tahaki Karen. She was the engineer on the main ship from the ruined fleet, and she is signed on with the crew of the Heartbreak. She may be the only one who knows what really happened. You know the drill. Go out there and get her before someone else does. Don't blow her up. Got it. Fine. And then my laptop is an A10 something. It's one of those system on a chip units that's like 6 or 7 years old now, and it's got, I want to say it's 8 gigabytes of RAM, but it could be 16. So I mean, this doesn't exactly require ultra high-end hardware, but let me tell you something. I've seen someone play this game on ultra high hardware, and it looks fantastic on the ultra high hardware. Now, let's see. I'm actually on a relatively high setting right now on here, because this system handles it okay. Hello, softly I multiply. Welcome to the stream. Just in time to watch me have to blow my way through a bunch of sleeper drones. How long have I been playing? I've been playing this particular character now for about a month and a half. My full gameplay time, I've been playing for roughly a year. And I'll be brutally honest, I'm still terrible at it, but I have fun. It's one of those games where, you know, it'll take a couple months to really get a really good solid idea of the basics of how to play, but you'll be learning to master the game forever. Just picked up the game yesterday. Yes, the learning curve is painfully steep, but if you give yourself a little bit of time, you'll have a lot of fun with it. Especially if you like the whole concept of what goes on with the game. I mean, how many games out there really let you do whatever it is you feel like doing? The storyline's there. Let's see. Sorry for my bad English. Only play League of Legends and World of War. I play World of Warships as well. Karen's being transported to a more secure Sisters of Eve location. Okay. Don't worry about. I mean, you're perfectly fine. I can understand what you're asking and saying, so it's not a problem. If your system handles League of Legends well, then it'll handle EVE Online beautifully. Remember the strange data core? We determined that it must have been made by rogue drones of some kind. Galente Space, where you contact someone who can help you. Delphine Zerazer, okay, for Creodron, the daughter of their chief researcher. Alright, well, let's go talk to this chief researcher person. I accepted the mission, didn't I? Where does it want me to go? I'm sitting in a dock looking for a corp, but I've been at it for about 1 hour and no luck, trying to find a noob-friendly group that uses voice like Discord for help. Hold on a second, I'm just realizing that I'm not exactly sure where I'm trying to go here. It depends on where you are as to how quickly you're going to find, you know, corporations that are really geared towards newer players. The corporation I'm on my main account, the only reason I'm in that corporation, and I hope I don't take this the wrong way because they're awesome guys, but it's because I just happened to fall in with them. We were mining the same series of asteroids, and I kind of cut a deal so I would stop getting my butt kicked. And then I wound up joining up with them because they were pretty cool guys. In my opinion, that's probably the best way to do it, because, I mean, it really depends on what you're looking for as to the people who would be the best suited for you to work with. If you're looking for a mining group, you're obviously going to want to look for a mining corporation. If you're looking for PvE, PvP, missions, you know, even just goofing off, there are some groups that just fly around and wreak havoc. Just for the fun of it. Riot's a good good representation of a corporation that just likes to, you know, start fights just to start fights. I mean, and again, that's not a knock on Riot. That's their thing. Don't really know what I want to do yet. Just want an active group of people who are willing to help and use voice chat.
Web drive active.
The biggest issue you're going to run into is a lot of the people, from my understanding, a lot of the people who play this game still use TeamSpeak versus Discord. I actually do have a Discord account, and I've thought about making a Discord channel, but I'm by no means a corporation manager. I'm a guy that enjoys playing video games and goofing off. Oh, well, thank you for the follow, Javier Chakas. I appreciate it. Feel free to ask me any questions you have about what you see in the game, or, you know, if there's something you're looking for, I can try to point you in the right direction with any luck. But for Softly I Multiply, mind if I just call you Softly? When I first started playing the game, I actually was really pushing the idea of being a shipwright. My big purpose of the game was to mine rocks, turn them into boats, make ISK, and then use that ISK to build more boats, and mine more rocks, and build more ships. And now I just do whatever I feel like doing based on a given day. Some days I'll spend a day chewing up rocks. Some days I'll go ahead and fail terribly at PvP. And some days I'll just go out destroying ships. So fly. Oh, so fly. Alright, well then I'll just call you, I can call you so fly. Or multiply, whichever. But, yeah, I mean, my best suggestion would be to not sit in any one place for too long. Fly around, try a few things, get a feel for what you want to do. You'll eventually find a niche for yourself, and once you find where you want to be, you'll easily find a group that'll be the right kind of people for you to work with. So fly, I multiply. I don't know why I thought that said softly. There's a T in softly. Ooh, someone's posting up AD&D books. Them's the fun times right there. Uh-oh, someone's streaming Let's Go Eevee. Not I, said the wolf. I'm too busy flying my ship around and looking for things to explode. Let's see, the stream shut down for you. That's not good. Let me double check to make sure my stream still shows active. Huh. Yeah, I'm actually looking at my main streaming unit, and it looks like there was some kind of a data hiccup. So that's sorry about that. Let's see, everything looks clean. Take a look at my Twitch data. Uh, 24 hours in. Purchase Omega. Alright, do I think it's a good idea for a starting player to jump on Omega? I'm trying to think of the best way for me to really mention that. See, if you feel like the game is going to be something that you're going to stick with for a while, I would say go ahead. But if you're, yes, the 2x training skills are very nice. Believe it or not, I played for about 2 months before I finally plunked down. Wait, no. 4 or 5 months before I plunked down the money for Omega. But when I did, I actually elected to I actually paid for the full year because I knew I was playing it enough. Like I had been playing World of Warcraft almost nightly, and then I was playing, what was I playing? Guild Wars 2 and Neverwinter, and I still do play those every now and again. But I found myself just gravitating back in towards EVE Online. And so when I realized that that's what I was doing, I decided, you know what? The boost is nice. The greatly increased ship availability is really nice. And I know I'm going to be playing this game a lot. So dropped about $100 on it for the full year. Now, mind you, that was before the Omega change, the Alpha change. Originally, the highest you could do as an Omega was a destroyer, which is what I'm flying now. Actually, for the longest time, my ship was an Algos because that was my big bad option. The Omega, they changed the Alpha to go the whole way up to battleships. So, what I would suggest doing is give it a week or two, maybe 3. If you feel that you're playing it enough to justify $15 a month or, you know, the discounted rates by buying for longer blocks, then go ahead and do it. But if you find yourself, you know, maybe in 2 or 3 days, you're going to say, you know what? I'm not really having the fun I was having when I first put in. It's not the exciting thing I thought it was. Stick with the Alpha for a bit. Worst case scenario, you can always pick it up a little bit later. That's how I do it. For me, if I'm spending more on more than $3 on a game per gameplay session, then I'm overspending. Trust me, I've put in enough hours of playing EVE Online to justify the year's costs. Let's see. Well, thank you, Simone. But yeah, I do make sure that I'm typically a player who can tell right away if it's a one-nighter. It's a game. It's a lot better than anything else I'm playing currently. I tend to be the same way. And because of that, I've made a couple snap decisions and bought games that, 2 weeks later I was like, why did I pay for this? So, like I said, I actually gave EVE Online, worst case scenario, I'm at $15. That is true. I'm highly analytical, so that's how I do it. I do cost versus entertainment analysis. So if I was playing for less than 5 hours and $15, even $15 a month would seem too much for me. Let's see, information about some kind of drone problem. Sisters are few promising Capsuleers in the past, so I'm willing to give you a chance, but I can't do anything else until this mess I'm dealing with has been taken care of. Some drones from Harrogate. You see, every drone in that system has ceased responding to signals. Unless the drone's been destroyed. Fly out there and bring one back. Okay. I'm going to run this particular mission section, and then I'm going to pause for just a second to get myself a glass of water, because I are a thirsty wolf.
Warp drive active.
So which faction you decided to go with there, Soulfly? The mission that says my cargo hold doesn't have the required space I needed. How should I fix this problem? Well, Amar. All right. So in that particular instance, I hope it's not going to attack me. In that particular instance, what you do is, we're gonna pull open the mission journal here. So it should be agency. All right. When you're in the mission select area, it'll tell you the size of the cargo. What I would suggest doing is, well, actually, you know what? Let me start with this. Is it a mining mission? Because the missions, they tend to, the mission parameters, like let's say you're trying to mine 100 cubic meters of ore. Well, if you're in a venture, you have the space for that, okay? But it only looks for the actual cargo hold, not the ore cargo hold. So if you're flying a venture and you're doing mining, then you can hold 5,000 cubic meters. So clearly you have enough room to do the job. I have a feeling once I pick this up, I'm going to get attacked by these broken Duvole lab drones. Red shows a good faction, or should I restart before it's too late? Well, I have wonderfully good news for you. And that wonderfully good news is that in reality, it doesn't matter which faction you choose to start with, because, you can fly anything. You're just going to start off with Amar technology. Each one has their pluses and minuses. But you as a Capsuleer, you can train to fly all of it. So if you decide you start with Amar, and you decide, you know what, I really like flying this drone boat. Well, then you pick yourself up an Algos, or you pick yourself up, what am I thinking of? A Vexor, a Myrmidon, the bigger ships that primarily focus on drone warfare. And you'll find yourself enjoying yourself relatively well. if you enjoy the idea behind what the Amarr does, which is primarily shooting lasers at people, you know what? You're sticking with Amarr. But yeah, you can fit any type of weapon to any type of ship so long as you have it trained. And the ship can accept it. Because not all ships can take missile launchers, and not all ships can take turrets. Alright, the RD team has been waiting for your return. Are you available for another mission? For you, anything! A recently established colony still depends on Federation support for items they can't produce yet. The last shipment of medical supplies. I play World of Warships. Yes, I still do play World of Warships. Their last shipment of medical supplies lost en route due to rogue drone action. Okay, go find them. Yeah, I do play World of Warships. I think I've streamed it once, way back when. Surprisingly accurate. Oh, did I put the stuff on my cargo hold? No, I did not. No. Surprisingly accurate for the game it is. I know a lot of people feel that it's kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Arcade-like. Artillery boats, so any ship like that. In this game, where I'm a long-range killer. Well, there's 3 realistic ways you're going to do long-range artillery type stuff on here. Alright? One of them is to have a long-reach drone boat that you can get moving really fast. I have a Myrmidon that travels at almost 1,000 meters per second and has a drone range of almost 100,000 kilometers. So, I mean, that works really, really well. Another option is to load up larger weapons with ammunition that has a much farther punch. The only downside to doing that is that the ammunition that you load into your turrets heavily affects the amount of damage you put out. There is no one big, okay, I put this great big shell in and I launched it, and when it hits, it's going to do all the damage. Instead, your weapons that are meant to go farther, they'll go farther, but when they hit, they're not going to do as much damage. The weapons that are meant to go a little bit shorter, they'll go the shorter distance, and when they hit, they'll do a lot more damage. Then your next option for that would be doing a heavy missile boat. Now, the big thing to remember about missile boats is that your missiles, unlike what you would expect in a lot of a light tank or a destroyer. A destroyer! Your light tanks you'd probably compare to your frigates. And your destroyer, your light tank and destroyer, yeah, you're looking at your frigates and actual destroyers in this game. So while we're cruising along to the supply drop, we'll open up. Well, actually, you know what? We're gonna. As a frigate, something that game used that can be used as a viable PvP option. That answer is yes. And depending on the type of fleet you're doing, sometimes they're beneficial even in large fleet combat, because a lot of people, they'll fly battleships and, you know, bigger ships, but unless they're running a fleet of drones, their bigger guns are going to have a harder time tracking you and so you're going to be it'll be easier for you to avoid being hit. As for the missile boat, as I was trying to explain, you have your light missiles, your heavy missiles, your torpedoes, and your bombs. And the thing to remember about the missiles is, a missile, as long as it can travel to your target, will always hit. Okay? So if I'm looking at a missile that's got a 40 kilometer range, I said 100,000 kilometers earlier. I meant 100 kilometers. Anyway, if you fire a missile that's got a 40 kilometer range, okay, what you got to remember is that's including turn time, tracking time, and adjustment time. So if you're on a ship, if you're on two ships going away from each other and you fire a missile from here, then 40,000 kilometers might get you to about here. So you're going to miss your target. And on top of that, unlike what you expect from most video games, when a missile hits, it doesn't just deposit all of its damage into the target. Instead, it explodes in a radius. And depending on the size of the ship you're hitting versus the size of the explosion and how fast an explosion works, that determines how much damage the ship absorbs. Like I said, this is a strangely complex game. I mean, it's crazy complex in the amount of thought and time that goes into the design and how these ships work. It's really interesting. Now, I love flying missile ships. In fact, I have a couple that I fly just for the fun of it. And it takes a lot of thinking and planning to fly those nicely. For PvP options, though, yeah, the frigates tend to be used for PvP, especially when you're in faction warfare space. Let's see. Drop off the medical supplies.
Warp drive active.
So, if you're looking for an artillery ship, then 9 times out of 10 what you're going to be looking for is going to be your battleships, your battle cruisers with your heavy guns. And they can go for a really long distance, but they don't track for crap. You get someone in close and they're going to have their way with you because they're going to be outrunning your ability to shoot at them. Right, good capsuleers are always in short supply, and I have an urgent recovery mission. Alright, now as I said, I'm going to take a short breather here for about 2 minutes, so that way I can get a drink together. I will be right back, so if you can give me just a moment, I will return. Alright, I'm back. That's a very, very fast 2 minutes, huh? Alright. I told you I'd help if I help me. Kidnap one of my Creo drone top minds, Dr. Aspasia Castile. She was analyzing those drone parts she'd recovered. Figure out what's going on with the drones, but the spreaders won't letting her go without a fight. Destroy their base and their ships guarding it before the ship transport arrives. Okay. Looks like I'm gonna go blow up some bad guys. Oh, one of my friends is live, and I can't go watch because I don't think it'd be appropriate to put her her on stream without her permission. Oh, there's the base. So just drop the drones. Get to work. Don't know why my ship stopped. It's not cool. We don't want it to stop. Are they really shooting at my drones? Jerks. What did my drones do to you except blow you up for being bad people? Oh, no, no, no. Stop shooting my boat. Get those to come on in. Normally I wouldn't do that, but the Navy drones are relatively expensive. And by relatively, I mean they're expensive. Ooh, that's a nice little supply of ships coming at me. They seem to be taking some personal effect to the fact that I'm shooting them. This will teach you to look at me funny. Now they said they wanted me to destroy the base. I like that idea. So let's destroy the base. You know what? Maybe that's not the best idea. We already have Miss Sisters of Eve here, sitting here saying, well, you treat yourself like you're a god. And I'm sitting here like, not really, but whatevs. But, you know, if I'm going to sit here and blow up a base full of people who are just doing a job, whether they agree with me or not. Come on, I'm running iron, aren't I? Oh, running antimatter. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Stop shooting. I could have sworn I was running iron. But, whatever. We're going to gather the last of the blown up loot. And roll out. I'm sitting on 36 rounds of antimatter charge left in these guns. Alright. Very efficient. If you're willing to take on the job from me, of course we'll take on the job from you. Because that's what we do. We take jobs from people. Glad you contacted me. Since you destroyed the Serpentis research station, the transport ship headed to another location to make the transfer. Though we were able to intercept, both ships were lost in the course of the ensuing battle. The data core containing Dr. Castile's notes may still exist. Locate the data core, bring it back. Guardian Angels. Well, in that case, we will need to prepare to blow them up rather efficiently and effectively.
Warp drive active.
Alright. Now my hobgoblins are recharged and ready for more combing the bat. Ooh. I gotta watch my drones here because these guys are going to be coming at my drones. As you can see, one of my drones has already taken damage. We're going to pull that one in. Keep it safe. So its shields can recharge. Oh, this just got interesting. I have been painted. Four drones are out. Yes, my shields are taking a bit of a beating. Should be alright. Alright. Oh, come on. May have to warp out. That won't be very fun. Alright, fine. We'll hold you in place and shoot you. And then we'll hold you in place. Alright, any new friends? Oh, wow. That's going to take a couple pennies to repair. So we're going to clean up the loot. And once we clean up the last of the loot, we warp back out and see what's left. Let's see, iron, thorium. Oh, cool. Really? That's an autocannon? I figured that would be a artillery cannon at 200, but hey. Alright, and now we'll dock back up.
Warp drive active.
Wow, it's already been 2 hours.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Take a moment to welcome everybody who's new to the stream. Alright. Glad to see you returned home in one piece. Now it's time for you to decide if you trust me. It's risky for both of us. I like risky. So let's see what you got to say. The data core you recovered has proved interesting. Before her kidnapping, Dr. Castile found several oddities in the drone components. Honestly, it's created more questions than answers for the Creodron staff. As a sign of good faith, I'm going to share some information with you. Our drones are being corrupted by some other kind of drone. I need you to take some information to a friend of mine in Caldari space. They've also been suffering from drone problems recently, and this data may help him and his people. I need you to keep us quiet. Our friendship isn't exactly something we're broadcasting, not with both of our empires at each other's throats. If you agree, make sure information is securely hidden on board your ship. You'll never even know it's there. All you have to do is go and talk to Imuri Asaka, and he'll take care of the rest. Alright, consider it done. Alright, let's make sure we don't have anything here in the item hanger. Clear. Okay, off we go. Now see, this would be the good time to jump off and grab a drink, because it's going to take me a few minutes to fly there. Is there any way to see how much skill points is needed for the skill to completely level? Actually, there is. So once you're in your character sheet, if you click or if you mouse over any given training thing, you'll see right here how much you've trained into it, how much is total there to gain it completely to 100%, and then how quickly your character is actually going to train said training skill. So in the case of industry, in order for me to get to level 5, I need to get to 256,000 skill points. Divide that by 15, and that's how many minutes it's going to take to get the whole way there without using any kind of boosters. And let's see here. Augmentations. Yeah, this character doesn't even have any implants, so we're talking slow as dirt. Another thing to remember, since I'm here on an on an Alpha account, you are limited to 1 day. But when it says you're limited to 1 day, what it means is you can't have anything past 1 day in queue. So as you see, this here, the Galente frigate, is 3 days and roughly, we'll call it 6 hours. It's allowed on the queue, but I can't put anything past it. And I can't put anything that bumps that into 24 hours out. So now I don't have to worry about making sure anything is on here to queue for another 4 days. Well, 3.5 days.
Warp drive active.
Daily alpha injector that is 50. If you use a daily alpha injector that's 50,000 skill points, and the skill one needs 13,000 to finish, will it consume all? When you use your injected points, unfortunately, I did this earlier, so I can't show you.
Warp drive active.
But when you go to inject the points, okay, you're going to right click on it and you'll say inject. It'll be an option right here that says inject points. And it's going to ask you how many points you want to inject. So if you're only, should I turn on my 110 Plex to ISK? ISK, you're going to come into your ISK quickly enough in the game. So if you're currently sitting on Plex and you're trying to use that to pay for your in-game time, just hold on to your Plex for now. But anyway, when you're going to use your injector, it's going to ask you how many points you want to include. So if you're specifically wanting to put in a certain amount of points, you just punch in that number of points and hit OK. You bought a month already? Well, welcome to the Omega side. Got a $15 pack. Yes, they do occasionally have those nice little packs. Plus, if you log out and log back in, you should find that there's another 2,500 or 25,000 skill point injector for you to load up to your character. You might as well get those up and now, so that way you don't miss out on them. Also, before you buy that Omega, if you have an Alpha injector, make sure to use it, because once you're on Omega, you're not going to be able to use it. Okay, next question. So you hover over a skill training amount for the full completion of that skill. Yes, that is correct. If so, how do I show how much just to complete, say, stage 2 of the 5? All right. We're going to go ahead back into my character sheet here. When you right click on it to do the injection, okay, it'll say inject skill level. You can click on that and it'll tell you the amount of skill points it's going to take you to get to the next level. You can manually punch that amount in and use just enough skill to get there. Unfortunately, I don't have any skill. Like I said, I don't have any skill injectors on hand to demonstrate. But that's generally how it works. And let's see. Open up the marketplace. I think it's a daily alpha. I understand. Thank you all for your help. Sorry for looking. No, I'll be honest. I started doing these streams with the explicit purpose of answering questions for people who don't know the game. So, you know what? I'm more than happy that you're asking any questions you have. I'm more than willing and eager to answer what I can. That's why I'm here. I'm by no means an expert of this game, but I have a really good understanding of the entry-level stuff. Plus, I'm goofy looking, so you can laugh at me the whole time. Alright, we've been dealing with the same drone corruption described by Sir Razier. We've managed to contain the contaminated ones inside Dead Space Pocket, but there's only a temporary solution. Situation personally, I've been trying to get updates from my colleagues in the field, but apparently she's having trouble getting clearance for outside communication. Over there, make sure the drones are still adequately contained. If they aren't, report back to me. Do not enter any confrontations with the security forces attempting to contain. Not a problem. So fly out there, take a look. Oh, wait. Okay, good. It's all here. So fly out there, take a look. Or if they're getting too big for the britches, run away. Which is a good idea. I'm in a... my game is showing that I have Omega, but I'm unable to get my second 25 skills. It's telling me to buy Omega. That may be because you already had accepted the day's skill points. I was hoping maybe if you logged out and logged back in, you might be able to get the other can. I guess that's not how that works. Man, the game actually got a really nice set of graphical updates recently. It really did. It looked great. Okay. Need to approach the hollow asteroid. So this must be the origin story for the rogue drones. Okay, so would you use the daily injector as a new player or sell them? Well, if you only bought 1 month of game time, after that 1 month expires, you're going to be able to use it because you'll revert back to an alpha. So what I would do is I would hold on to that for now unless you're planning on actually running a full-on subscription. So that way, if what I would do is I'd hold on to that for the first month. If you let it drop off, then you'll still have that alpha injector for later. If you're already doing a full-on subscription, then there's no reason for you to hold on to it. You can sell it and use that ISK for other stuff. This is going to take a long time. Let's go ahead and kick the speed up just a touch. Wow. Even the game knows that it's a bad idea to use battleships to keep track of drones. Always have Omega running if this is the main game I'm playing, so I'll probably sell it. So no, any other reason for your 100 Plex? Well, good question. Wait, what is this? Okay.
Docking permission requested. Docking request
So, if you're logged in, you'll see the star on the left side of your screen that says a New Eden store. Everything that's in there uses Plex. So, let's say you want to pick up some of these skins, or like right now, the Tengu Ultra Jungle skins are available for Plex. Or another good one that I really like is the Astero Spectral Shift skin. They all cost Plex to pick up. So if you have Plex, then, and if you see anything in here that you kind of like, you can either try to build up enough in-game currency to get them through the marketplace, which that's going to take a while. You're gonna chew through your ISK and your time trying to pull that off, or you can buy it from here. And another thing that works really nicely for the for players who play a lot is the multiple pilot training certificate. Unlike most MMORPGs, on EVE Online, you can have only one character training at a time. And the reason for that is because of the fact that you can extract those skills and sell them on the marketplace. So to balance that out, you can only actively train one account at a time. One character per account, unless you have the multiple pilot training certificate. For each one of these, it allows you to have another character on the same account training up at the same time. And again, as you see here, 485 Plex. Now, that may seem a little over the top. It's almost $15. But if you come over here into the marketplace, and do a search for the multiple pilot training certificate, 1.32 billion just to buy them. So your mileage may vary depending on which location you are doing your purchases, and every region has a different market, so you'll have to make a decision based off of what you see. But if you're planning on running multiple pilots, that'll come in handy, and might be faster for you to pick it up via Plex. On this account, I actually don't have any Plex. Let's see. New player, I acquired 1 billion. Does that really do anything for me since my low skill points? There's still things to do. There's always things to do. I'll put it to you this way. This character was actually gifted 1 billion ISK. Okay. We come over here, between my experimentation and buying new ships and trying different things, I've gone through about, I'm going to call it 500 million ISK. So you can go through ISK really quick on this game if you're not paying attention. So you'll always have room, you'll always have need for making more ISK. Says I feared. Thank you for the report. I'll need you again in just a moment. Yeah, I'm still free to work. I mean, I still have a fee, but it's gotten complicated. The current security deployment won't last long against those drones. Local commander Guatemala seems happy just to contain the drones, but that only buys the little bastards more time to escape or supplement their numbers. True. Need to know more about the commander and why he didn't seem to know what he's doing. I have a friend named Nashi Koruda working for the House of Records who should have those answers. Fly over to the archives where she works and return to me with anything that might offer some explanation. It isn't glamorous work, but it needs to be done if we want to make informed decisions about how to proceed. Roger that. So we are going for a data run.
I cannot set up waypoints to the same location twice.
So yeah, I mean, 1 billion's a really good number to have, and it allowed me to set up a lot of really interesting stuff. But at the same time, I mean, let me think. I bought, I want to say 4 or 5 alpha skill injectors, and I've manufactured some relatively heavy ships. So I mean, if nothing else, having 100 plex, you know, that's guaranteed money in the pocket. If I sold my plex, you could have 300 million. Okay. I can actually do a quick rundown while I'm flying here. In order to sell something, you can't do it from your ship. Okay? You have to be in a spaceport to do it. And what you'll do is, actually, no, I'll wait till we're docked up, so that way I can do a quick showing. The first thing you may want to do is you may want to find out where you will get the most ISK for selling your ships. And the way to do that would be to go to an external website that will actually go over all of the regions at the same time. So in this particular case, Eve Market Data is a really good place to go. Actually, I'm going to put this in the chats, so give me just a second. I seem to be, here it is. All right. If you go there, or another good place for it is HTTPS marketer.com. That should do it. Either one of those two websites are... Oh, that... Did I misspell that? Yes, I did. Ignore that last one. I'm going to go ahead and redo it. There we go. Eve Market Data, Eve Marketer, and Eve Market Data. Those are actually really, really good resources. Utilize those for any purchases you go to make. But once you go there, you can search for what you're trying to sell. So Plex. Well, I'm on Eve Marketer right now, doing a search for Plex directly. And buyers. So right now, it looks like your best place to sell those immediately would be the perimeter location, which is just outside of Jita. All right. So what you're going to do here is, as you see right now, I'm in Gallente space, but we can do a search here for perimeter. There we go. And you set your destination there, travel there, and then once you're there, you look for the location that says 0.0 tax location, and you'll be able to sell your Plex directly. And the way you do that, as you see, we're now currently docked up, and we're going to take something, say these metal scraps, and we're going to throw them in the item hanger right here. Okay? So you right click on it and you click sell this item. And this works in the same in the Plex here. Okay, you click on the Plex Vault, you click sell Plex Risk. And as long as the location here has someone willing to buy it, they'll buy it. Now, as of right now, I can sell these metal scraps for 9,000 ISK. Or I can right-click on it and view the market details and take a look and see if I want to fly somewhere else to do the selling. Honestly, it's a matter of time versus money, like anything in real life. There we go. I just sold some junk. Got my money. Now, when you're dealing with your ISK, your Plex, it'll be very similar. You right-click, view market details. So right here in Botane, now mind you, I'm in Sync Liaison. Where you are, it might not necessarily be the same place or as beneficial. You're in Amar space, so you are probably going to look for domain, possibly. And then you'll be able to make your sale right there, make your ISK. But by utilizing one of the marketing websites, you can benefit by reducing how much you're spending for a heavier item, or in some cases, maximizing your profits by going to where you can buy your stuff. Please, please, never carry your Plex in your ship. Ever. Okay, you'll be begging people to blow you up because they have cargo scanners. They'll lock on. They'll read your cargo. They'll say, "Hey, look, there's some free Plex," and they'll shoot you. You keep them locked up in your Plex vault. No reason to ever carry them on your ship, ever, unless you're like trying to move them to another character. And even at that, that's no, don't do that.
Warp drive
Hey, beautiful. All right. Looking at the clock here, and it is now 1 a.m. and I have work in the morning. So I think I'm going to turn in this last quest, and I think that'll be it for me for the evening. Maybe I'll finally actually do some repairs, so that way I'm not sitting here on a 1/3 damaged armor setup. Whoops. I said, when did I get a new skin that's got a bunch of damage? Oh, that's because I'm damaged. Get a repair quote. It was absolutely my pleasure there, SoFly. I do enjoy doing this. I really do enjoy answering questions when I can and helping out where I can. I really do. So don't be afraid to ask questions, especially if you see me on. It says, Guatemala got his position thanks to family connections. Ah, boy. So we're going to pick this back up here tomorrow evening. Hopefully 10 p.m. Eastern Standard, so that way I can get a little bit of game time on and then get some sleep in. So, this has been the Lone Wolf enjoying himself, doing some Sister of Eve questline. I'm actually really curious how far this is going to go. So, until tomorrow, this has been the Lone Wolf signing off. Fly safe and have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.